Let's begin, class. Exercise 2-1 identification. Although your examinations class will not be in this mode of examination, these kind of exercises would still be able to help you since there are a lot of multiple choice questions simply asking for definition of terms. Okay, so I hope you've found the time to go over these statements. Number one, it is an obligation that arises from contract, legislation, or similar means and is legally enforceable by the party to whom they are owed. This describes a legal obligation. Because you're not allowed to come up with your own terminologies because there are terminologies provided by the framework and the standard, and what are given here are simply the definitions provided in the framework and the standard. So again, number one is a legal obligation simply because this can be legally enforced. Number two, it is the present value of the cash or other economic resources that an entity expects to be obligated to transfer as it fulfills a liability. Again, we have a technical term for this one, and what is being described in number two is your fulfillment value. So number two is fulfillment value. Number three, they are the existing and potential investors, lenders, and other creditors. You should know this by heart already, class. Number three is our primary users. Number four, it is an implicit qualitative characteristic related to neutrality, which is the use of caution in making judgments under conditions of uncertainty. Number four is prudence. Number five, it is the qualitative characteristics that enables users to identify and understand similarities in and differences among items. Number five is comparability. Number six, it is an assumption that a reporting entity will continue in operation for the foreseeable future and it has no intention nor the need to enter liquidation or to cease trading. Number six is going concern. Okay, there's an equivalent multiple choice question which was part of your activity last time, defining going concern. Now, number seven, it is a present economic resource controlled by the entity as a result of past events. Number seven describes an asset. Number eight, it is the removal of all or part of a recognized asset or liability from an entity statement of financial position. Number eight describes the process of derecognition. Number nine, it is a characteristic of financial information that allows it to make a difference in the decisions made by users. Number nine would be relevance. Number 10, it is a type of measurement basis that provides monetary information about the elements of the financial statements using updated information to reflect conditions at the measurement date. Number 10 describes your current value. Number 11, the foundation of conceptual framework is the objectives of your general purpose financial reporting. 11 is objective of general purpose financial report. Number 12, it is adding together assets, liabilities, equity, income, or expenses that have shared characteristics and are included in the same classification. This describes aggregation. Number 12 is aggregation. Number 13, it is the amount at which an asset, a liability, or equity is recognized in the statement of financial position. Number 13 is your carrying amount. Number 14, it means that an entity has the present ability to direct the use of the economic resource and obtain the economic benefits that may flow from it. This describes the existence of control. Number 14 is control. Number 15, it is the implicit characteristic of relevance. The answer here is your materiality. To be considered relevant, one must be considered material. Number 16, it is a concept of capital that is regarded as the productive capacity of the entity based on the units of output per day. This is your physical concept of capital. Number 17, it is a characteristic of a financial information that if it is classified, characterized, and presented in clear and concise manner. Number 17 is understandability. Number 18, it is the residual interest in the assets of the entity after deducting all its liabilities. Best answer here would be equity. Okay, but of course there are synonyms to your equity, net assets or net worth. But again, as defined in the framework, what the definition here describes equity. Number 19, it is the simultaneous recognition of income and related expenses. What principle is being described here? 19 describes your matching principle. You match the revenue with the related expenses. Number 20, it is an identified feature of an item being measured. The answer here would be your measurement basis. Number 20 is measurement basis. Let's proceed to chapter 1, class. Because for chapter 1, class, very little area for analysis, class. These are very objective concepts. The number of members, the composition of the board, their functions, their objectives, the process flow. These are very objective, class. There's nothing to add. As long as you will be able to remember what you have read, then you should be able to answer the questions on these topics. Let's start with the identification, exercise 1-1. Number 1, it is the interpretative body of the International Accounting Standards Board and reviews the implementation issues of the standards. This is the IFRS Interpretation Committee. Number 2, if the IASB has 13 or fewer members appointed, that is the number of, what is the number for there to be super majority? The answer for number 2 is 8. Again, very objective questions. No area for analysis, no area for arguments. Number 3, these are accounting standards issued by the International Accounting Standards Committee. Take note, what is used here is still the old body, International Accounting Standards Committee. So the answer here would be International Accounting Standards, IAS. Number 4, they are the ones who conduct and administer licensure examinations to aspiring professionals. This would be your PRC, BOA. Okay, PRC-BOA. BOA is for your Board of Accountancy. PRC would be your Professional Regulatory Commission. Number 5, they are the ones who accredits practitioners who audit publicly listed companies. Number 5 would be your Securities and Exchange Commission. But actually, there would be a lot of accreditations, class. You will also have to get an accreditation with the BIR. But for auditing, you will have to be accredited with the Securities and Exchange Commission. Okay, but of course, there are also other accreditations you can get from SEC. Number 6, they are the ones who assist the Board of Accountancy in uh, establishing and promulgating auditing standards in the Philippines. Number 6 would be your AASC. Number 7, it is the only accredited national organization of CPAs in the Philippines. Uh, I hope you've heard of the answer number 7 class. Number 7 would be your PICPA, the Philippine Institute for Certified Public Accountants. By the way, what does AASC stand for, class? Auditing and Assurance Standards Council. Number 8, they are responsible for overseeing the work of the International Accounting Standards Board. This would be the IFRS Foundation. Again, kasi how will this be asked as a multiple choice question? You will be given with a definition and you will just be asked to choose among the choices what is being described in the statement. Okay. And identification questions in the four multiple choice questions involving mere identification class are classified as easy questions. As I've told you, your goal should always be to get 100% of the easy questions. But you will not have any chance of getting this right without having encountered these statements or terminologies. This is where the importance of doing the reading comes in. Number 9, this is a document that is issued by the board but prepared by the technical staff. Number 9 would be your research paper. Number 10, it is the law governing the practice of accountancy in the Philippines. This is your Republic Act 9298. But there had been an amendment to RA 9298. I'll try to get back to you on the actual number of the amendment to RA 9298. In the past class, there's a board exam question asking you for the law governing the practice of accountancy. Okay, and students are familiar with RA 9298. And do you know what was done in the board exam class? The numbers were just shuffled, class, just to confuse the examinee. RA 9892, RA 2998. Okay? It does not really test an important part of your knowledge in accounting class, but again, that question comes out in the board examination. Okay? And the answer there is simply RA 9298. I hope nobody gets confused. For me, it's a waste of question, class, but the reality is that kind of question comes out. RA 9298. Let's proceed to the multiple choice. Number 1, under the Philippine Accountancy Act of 2004 or RA 9298, the Professional Regulatory Board of Accountancy shall be composed of uh, Alpha, a chairman, and 6 members to be appointed by the President of the Philippines. I think the current chairman is still a Cebuano. Next, which, and again, class, if you will not study without class, there's no way for you to be able to figure out the answer from the choices lang. Okay, it might have worked for you when you were in grade school, high school, wherein you will just try to figure out the answer based on the choices. But for this kind of questions, class, no amount of analysis on the choices will lead you to the correct answer. It's either you'll get it right because you know it, or you'll end up guessing. Next question, which statement is correct regarding the Financial Reporting Standards Council? The answer here for number 2 would be Delta class. The FRSC is the successor of your AESC, which was created in 1981 by the Philippine Institute of Certified Public Accountants. Number 3, the FRSC was created by the Board of Accountancy to assist the BOA in carrying out its power and function, which is to promulgate accounting standards in the Philippines. So the answer number three is alpha. Number four, which of the following is correct regarding FRSC? Uh, the answer here is delta. FRSC members serve for a term of 3 years, renewable for another term. Uh, does not have to be CPAs, need not be full time. Old members may still be appointed to the FRSC. Number five, Financial Reporting Standards Council has uh, 15 members with a chairman. And the chairman is already included in the 15. Number six, the chairman of the FRSC should have been or presently a senior practitioner in. Is there a required sector class? No. The answer here is any scope of accounting practice. Number seven, which of the following government agencies uh, is not represented in uh, FRSC? Uh, the answer here is Commission on Higher Education. Number seven is Delta. Number eight, which of the following is represented in FRSC? Uh, Phoenix. Finance executives. Plus, again, these kind of questions come out in the board examination class. I myself was not a fan of this kind of questions, but at the time, I realized that for you to get high scores, to get 90% and above, you should take care of these kind of questions. There are students who would think they would just they would be satisfied to get the correct answer for questions that require analysis, and they would just brush aside getting these kind of questions wrong, and they would say, "I was not able to study man good," and they would just focus on the questions they got right even without studying. Okay, but that will only lead you to at most 60 to 70%. If your goal is to get 90% at least, you should take care of these questions that cannot be analyzed. Again, as long as you already know these terms, they are essentially easy questions because they do not require any analysis. When I was a student, I would be proud to get 10 out of 20 when not studying, and I would even feel better than someone who gets 15 over 20 and studied a lot. But later on, I realized that's the wrong approach. You're just competing with yourself. It should be your score that you should be concerned of. And at the end of the day, 10 over 20 is a failing score. I will not be rewarded for getting 10 without studying. What would be counted would be my score, regardless of whether I studied or not. So I hope you understand the importance of taking care of these kind of questions. Where are we? Number nine. The purpose of IASB is to uh, develop standards, develop a single set of high quality standards. So number nine is Charlie. Number 10, the IASB standard setting structure includes all of the following except uh, we do not have this standards comparison committee. You have the advisory council, obviously you have the FRSC, and you have the trustees to the foundation. Number 11, the due process system used by the IASV in the evolution of a standard, the order by which these documents will be produced or released are as follows. Which one will come first? the exposure draft, the standard, or the discussion paper. Discussion paper, and then followed by the draft, and then lastly your standard. So the answer number 11 is delta. Number 12, which statement is true about the IASB's development of IFRS? Uh, Basically, what this asks from you is whether you would agree that there is uh, priority given to balance sheet over P&L, or there is priority given to fair value accounting over amortized cost. There's no priority over those items, class. That's why the answer for number 12 would be delta. Number 13, which of these statements regarding the IFRS and the US GAAP is correct? Uh, Letter A is the answer here. IFRS is principles based and it is less detailed than US GAAP. Number 14, which of the following statements describes the effects of adopting high quality accounting standards? Because there's a similar question in your chapter 2 class. For number 14 and 15 here, there's an equivalent question in chapter 2. Basically, what would be the benefit for adopting high quality accounting standards? Number 14, the answer would be it will strengthen the capital markets. Okay, so letter D, the adoption of high quality accounting standards by countries with weak regulatory environments will enable them to strengthen their capital markets. Uh, Management of earnings will definitely be not eliminated. Of course, the use of standards will not result in abnormal returns, higher abnormal returns, and there will always be volatility. Number 15, this is the one that is also asked in chapter 2. Uh, the answer for number 15 is bravo. Cost of capital is lower for firms. It would be basically funds would be cheaper. Okay, the fund providers are more willing to let go of their funds for use in the businesses, for use by businesses. Number 16, which is not part of the accounting standard setting process in the Philippines. Number 16 answer is letter A. Letter A is required for Philippine laws, not for accounting standards. Letter A is publication in the official gazette or in a newspaper of general circulation. Uh, this is for your Philippine laws, not for your accounting standards in the Philippines. Number 17, which statement is correct regarding the timing applications of PFRS? The answer number 17 class is bravo. Standards will provide class as to how they are going to be applied. Okay, and they are referred to as your transitory provisions. The letter A there is again applicable for rules in the Philippines. Unless otherwise stated in the law, there will be it will it will take effect 6 months from the date of publication. Okay, again, answer number 17 is letter B. Number 18, which of the following is a characteristic of the FRSC? Uh, Again, letter A is wrong. They do not come from majority does not come from CPA firms. Not all are CPAs. Again, need not be full time. Letter D, the answer is letter D. All four sectors of the accountancy profession are represented. What are these four professions, class? Uh, Commerce and industry, government, academe, and public practice. Number 19, the FRSC issues its standards in a series of pronouncements called PFRSs. This consists of all of the other choices. So the answer number 19 is letter D. Number 20, What are the accounting principle? What are the accounting principles commonly known as? Uh, Number 20 is your standards. Okay. And class, since we have already gone over these questions, class, you are not expected to get these questions wrong. Because again, what are the questions you're supposed to get right, class? You're supposed to get 100% of the easy questions. And you're also expected to get 100% of questions you have already encountered. Your error should only come from difficult questions you have never encountered. Difficult questions you have encountered, you are already expected to get them right.